What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Auto 101. Welcome back to another car review. And today we're taking a look at this right here, a 2025 BMW 4 Series Gran Coupe. Now this in particular is a 430i. And the 4 Series is supposed to be a more sporty version, in quotations, of the 3 Series. Let's find out if that's actually the case. And also, I have a hunch that this is actually one of the best cars in BMW's current model lineup, just because of the number of options that you get with the 4 Series. So let's find out if both of those things are true in the review. Let's go. In front of us right here is a 2025 BMW 430i Gran Coupe, or Gran Coupe. And there's a few things to dissect here. Firstly, what is Gran Coupe? What is 4 Series? And what's changed for 2025? Let's talk about all that. Firstly, Gran Coupe. That's BMW's kind of funky naming convention for a coupe with 4 doors. So you're asking, this is not really a coupe. It's clearly a 4-door sedan. It's actually a hatch. We'll talk about that later. But Gran Coupe basically in BMW terminology means it's a sedan that has the general profile of a coupe. And you can see that this kind of has that curvature heading to the back. The 4 Series, and what is that all about? The 4 Series kind of bifurcated from the 3 Series line about 2 generations ago now, and the sedan and wagon stayed a 3 Series. The coupe convertible became a 4 Series, and then they introduced this Gran Coupe as a more practical version of the 4 Series, which technically should be the 3 Series, but we have this instead. And then what's different about this compared to the 3 Series? Well, the styling is completely different. It has a front end treatment that's completely different. Super controversial design with these kidney grills, different lights that are also found on the M3, so they're not completely exclusive to this car. Clearly a different rear end styling treatment as well, because this has the same styling treatment generally as a 4 Series regular coupe or 4 Series convertible. And this also has a hatch, whereas the 3 Series sedan clearly just comes with a normal trunk. In North America, this current generation of 4 Series was introduced in 2020 as a 2021 model year, and it comes with only 2 engine options. So the M3, the M4 clearly come with the S58, the bigger, more powerful inline turbo 6, and that's also available with the coupe and convertible versions of the 4 Series. But for the Gran Coupe, it only came in the 430i, which is the inline 4-cylinder turbo 4 B48, or the 440i, the M440i, which is the inline 6-cylinder B58. No M4 version for the Gran Coupe. So if you want a 4-door M car in this size, the only option is the M3. A few years ago, this car was refreshed. It gained updated front end styling. They kind of removed the semi halos that were present in this model before and gave it these snake bite style headlights. And I happen to think it actually looks pretty good. And they also changed up the interior. And the rear end's treatment is also a little bit different. One interesting thing about this car is that it also came as an EV, and it's called the i4, which is why the profile of the 4 Series looks a little bit taller than the profile of a 3 Series. And they're kind of trying to hide that fact by putting this black rocker panel on the bottom to disguise that height. But the reason why it's taller is because the i4 version of this car needs to have the battery underneath as like a skateboard type platform, and that elevates or increases the overall height of the car. So they're trying to hide that height by putting that little rocker panel. And that's something I should have mentioned. This Gran Coupe version was the exclusive version of this G20 platform that came with fully EV power. So that is something unique, bespoke to the 4 Series Gran Coupe. That didn't come with the 3 Series, didn't come with the coupe, didn't come with the convertible. If you wanted an EV version of the G20, this is the only option. G20, by the way, is the platform generation for all the 3 Series and 4 Series models of this era. So there's different G20 numbers depending on if it's a sedan, coupe, convertible. You get the drift. So I think the interior of the 4 Series is one of the biggest strengths of the G20 platform as a whole. So that applies to the 3 Series, because not only is the interior very modern, as you can see by this very display focused dashboard and infotainment in front of me, but it also has that traditional BMW charm to it with the straight edges and a very kind of simplistic, minimalistic design. The material quality is also very high. The door panel quality is great. The seat quality is great. The dash quality is great. This is also a really nice material. I don't know if this is metal or plastic. I think it's actually real aluminum, and it definitely feels like it because it gets cold when the weather's a little bit cold. Steering wheel is great. It's a little thick, which I think is a problem with most BMW steering wheels, to be honest. But that doesn't detract from the quality, and it's a personal preference. And there's also a lot of practicality. I mean, keep in mind, this is supposed to be the less practical version of the 3 Series, but despite that, there's a lot of interior room. You can see this large Stanley water bottle fits here, no problem. There's a really big glove compartment in the middle where I currently have a croissant. It's actually a really good croissant. It had like a almond and cardamom mixed. Regardless, a lot of space in here. Big door pockets. The glove box is a reasonable size. And it's comfortable. For me, at 5'9", it's really easy to get a comfortable driving position. It's easy to have long drives in this. It's easy to kind of zip around the city. So the seats are comfortable for a variety of situations. So they've done a really good job with the interior. And the infotainment, if we take a look, is definitely the highlight. Because this iteration of iDrive, firstly, just the display, very clear, very high resolution, very fast. Almost no lag in this system, and the resolution is just incredible. I know I said that twice, but to me it's like such a hallmark of this infotainment, because so many cars have like little iffy resolutions and slow infotainments, and this is neither of those, and it's so big that it's perfect. The dash, I think, is a little bit of a sore point, because even though it has the same perks as the infotainment, that being a good resolution and a fast response time, I think there's just not enough customization given the amount of real estate and the screen quality. There's more BMW could have done with this, and they just haven't. So I think whilst it looks good and it functions good, they could have done more to make it a more unique, customizable experience. Compare this to the competition, and I still think, despite this being a 5-year-old car, the interior is a very, very well put together, modern place that BMW has excelled. Touchscreen, by the way, and a scroll wheel in the middle. So lots of input method options as well. They changed some of this around for 2025. So this is a new steering wheel design with the flat bottom on the M version. And they also changed and cleaned up the center console. They didn't really need to, because there's nothing wrong with the old center console, but they've kind of made this a bit more minimalistic. The vents are supposed to be a bit sleeker, but they still kept, some buttons down here. They're like semi-haptic, semi-hard touch. One issue I will say is that there's no real way to quickly control fan speed. You have to click climate in here and then change it. That is annoying. They should have kept the button down there, and they had one before, so they really shouldn't have gotten rid of it. But times change. I also think the outside styling has really aged well. This was super controversial when it came out, I agree. The height was controversial when it came out because some people said it looked a little bulky. But now here in 2025, this car really does look like the perfect blend of modern BMW styling, but still has those traditional BMW styling hallmarks. It's a good blend of the two, I feel. Front end, most divisive, but it has aged well. I actually think the side profile now looks really nice. Yes, it's a little bulky and tall, but most cars are these days, and this actually wears that height very well. And I really like the rear end treatment. It looks amazing to me. I like the tail lights. They're very aggressive. I like how it kind of mashes up with the body in general. And I like the window line. It's not the traditional Hofmeister kink from BMW, but it still looks good. Styling is subjective, so let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, so let's go talk about the biggest Achilles heel of this car, and that is the rear seat space. There's just not that much. The 3 Series is not a big car to begin with, and the 4 Series Gran Coupe with its sloped roofline compromises rear seat room even more. It's a very well put together place. I mean, the door panels are of a high quality again. The seat material is great. And it feels well put together, but there's just not that much space in here. It's a tight fit. That is the biggest drawback of this car. On the flip side though, the biggest pro of this car compared to a traditional 3 Series or a 4 Series coupe is the fact that this comes with a hatch. And in North America, we don't get a 3 Series wagon. So this is the closest that we have to a 3 Series wagon. And if we open this up, you can see the amount of space in here. It's a sizable difference compared to the 3 Series because there's a lot more vertical height. There's a little tonneau cover here that you can move as well. It's a roomy space. You can see there's a day's full of groceries here. Not even a day's. It's like a month's full of groceries, to be honest. Some Trader Joe's, some Wild Fork, some Target, and it fits all of it. No problem, with more room to spare. So it fits a lot of bags. This is probably fit like, I don't know how many is, like there's like 8 bags in here. You could probably fit another 4, 12 bags, a lot of room. This car also drives the same as any other 3 Series or any other 4 Series. And by that, I mean it drives amazing, well planted, really good damp suspension, which means it's comfortable on the uneven stuff, but well composed on the twisty back road stuff. Smooth, stable, and comfortable on the highway. This is a great platform. BMW has really dialed it in perfectly. There's no issues with the ride quality and the driving dynamics of the G20 series of cars. One little thing I'll note is that the steering feel to me is a little bit too light. To me, BMWs are emblematic of heavy steering, even if it's not the most, there's not the most feedback from BMW steerings at all time, but at least they were heavy, which kind of felt like you had more feedback. Now the steering is light and it's combined with not that much feedback. So the steering feel isn't great, and it's a heavy car, but it doesn't really feel like you're getting anything back from that weight except for like the feeling of mass. So BMW could have done a bit more to improve steering feel. You put this car in sport, and yes, the steering does get a little bit heavier with some artificial sounds piped in. So let's get back to the original question. Is this a sportier version of the 3 Series? And I think yes, if you go with the coupe. Not really, to be honest, if you go with the Gran Coupe. It's more stylish, for sure. It's a bit more unique, for sure. But it doesn't drive any differently to a 3 Series. And it looks sportier. So that's really the extent of the sportier version of the 3 Series. But despite that, I think that the 4 Series is in a bit of a Goldilocks zone in the BMW lineup because it offers so many options. Let's go through them. You can get a coupe version, 2 doors. You can get a convertible version if you live in like Florida or something and you want to put the top down. You get this version if you want to carry more people, you want to carry more stuff, so it's more practical. You get 2 engine options. You can get an efficient, reliable 4-cylinder. You can get an efficient, reliable, and powerful inline 6-cylinder with the B58 in the 440i. Or you can go full bore with the M4 if you want a absolute rocket with a ton of power, a ton of handling. Of course, it's only in the 2-door and convertible versions, but it's still there within the 4 Series lineup. And on the flip side of that, if you want something that's efficient, forward-facing, future-facing, you can get the i4. And there's 2 tunes that you can get with the i4. I think 3 actually. There's the 35, the 40, and I think either a 50 or a 60. I'll put it down here. So this really has any combination of powertrain, any combination of drivetrain, any combination of body style, and all of that is contained within the 4 Series model. So to me, the 4 Series is the Goldilocks BMW because you can get it configured basically any way you want, and it still possesses all of the positive aspects of the 3 Series. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.